So I'm back. I got some more free agency updates in a quick little video, so let's hop to it.
Welcome to the Rines Report with your host, Tristan Blake Rines.
Let's start with an update on a key defensive end on the market, Everson Griffin, veteran player formerly of the Minnesota Vikings, coming off of a Pro Bowl season. Pretty solid year for the aging vet. I still think this dude's got plenty left in the tank, at least for another season, or maybe even two, to whatever, wherever he lands. Let go as a cap casualty along with guys like Xavier Rhodes, Linval Joseph, all to open up some more cap space because the Vikings were walking into this offseason with next to nothing and decided to re-sign their quarterback, their franchise guy, in Kirk Cousins. So long-term deal for Kirk Cousins, cutting some of the, extra cap that they could with some big players gone. Everson Griffin, again, one of those casualties, but I think Everson Griffin still absolutely has the potential to play in the NFL right now. I think a good team that he could land with, the Seattle Seahawks. They've still got some money left lying around. I think he doesn't have to sign for a huge deal, anything crazy, but they're a team that could use a little bit more pass rush. Jadeveon Clowney didn't quite work out last season. I understand they are maybe trying to go back and get him again, but Everson Griffin, still a strong pass rusher, and I think he would work really, really well there. Along with another squad, the Buffalo Bills, looking for some more pass rush as well on the defensive line. They've already got a nasty setup. They got Star Lotulelei, they got Jordan Phillips, and if you throw Everson Griffin in there, the pure pass rush ability, I think he'd be awesome as a Buffalo Bill. Another player on the market, cornerback Prince Amukamara, going to be 30 this upcoming season. Had 10 pass deflections for the Bears last season, formerly drafted by the New York Giants. Amukamara isn't necessarily your number one corner necessarily, but I do think that he has some ability to obviously play in the nickel. He'd be great to cover up some of those slot guys. And he doesn't necessarily need to be your prime number one corner like I just said, but I think Prince Amukamara can very well work into a number of different defenses. I got a couple off the top of my head that I think he could work into and be a solid veteran contributor and maybe even help get you some more defensive stops down the road along the way. I think one spot he could very well land are the New York Jets. They let go of Tremaine Johnson, signing him to a massive deal, but decided to cut ties with him after a few seasons. They need some more corner help. I think Prince Amukamara isn't necessarily a splash for the Jets, but he is the kind of veteran leadership, the veteran presence in the locker room that the New York Jets could need. Another squad I think that he could land with are the Dallas Cowboys. Losing Byron Jones is obviously going to hurt the Cowboys. He's not going to be able to completely replace that production, but I think Prince Amukamara would be a solid addition to a secondary that, well, is just Jeff Heath and Xavier Woods at the moment, as far as I can tell off the top of my head. So they're probably going to get better through the draft. I think the Cowboys are definitely going to be looking towards the secondary this year, but no Byron Jones. You got to start making up for that ground somewhere, and I think Prince Amukamara could be a solid addition. Obviously, Dak Prescott's deal still up in the air at the moment, but, in the meantime, go out, get yourself a veteran corner that still got some gas left in the tank. Another player on the market, former Pro Bowler Mike Daniels from the Green Bay Packers, when he got the Pro Bowl at least, was with the Detroit Lions last year, was very much so more of a rotational player along the defensive line. The Lions went out in free agency this offseason and picked up Danny Shelton, formerly of the New England Patriots. Patricia seems to be going after his former guys. He's already got Trey Flowers on the defensive line as well. But there are a couple of places I think he could land. I think he could very well go to Baltimore. Baltimore seems to be looking to get better at the pass rush on the defense. I think Mike Daniels could fill in that role for them a little bit more. You give him some more snaps. He only started 2 games for Detroit last season, only registered 1 sack, but I think you could get Mike Daniels on a pretty cheap 1-year deal And if you're Baltimore, you already got Calais Campbell, you got Matt Judon in the pass rush, you signed Derek Wolfe, you bring in Mike Daniels on a team-friendly deal, you only got like $10 million to work with so far this offseason, or excuse me, remaining this offseason. I think Mike Daniels would be a pretty solid addition to a Baltimore locker room that could still use a little bit more pass rush. They could go after some more guys in the draft, but at the lower draft spots, we're not quite sure who's going to be available there. And another team I think that Mike Daniels could go to is making a return trip to Detroit. I mean, remain one of those rotational guys, remain one of those, you know, fixtures along the defensive line that is more of a situational guy, similar to what you'd be doing in Baltimore. But again, you stay where you're familiar, you stay where you're comfortable, and I think he could very well land back in Detroit. They got $30 million left according to Over the Cap, and, you know, I think Mike Daniels could still play in that defense. It's just a matter of trying to carve out a bigger role for himself. Another guy that hit the market, Jason Peters, formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles, the 9-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, and the 1-time Super Bowl champion. The fixture on the left side of the line for the Philadelphia Eagles for over a decade is on the market after the Eagles decided to get younger. They brought in Andre Dillard in the draft. Peters, going into this next season, 38 years old. I still think he has a little bit left to give. Obviously, that's an old ancient number in the NFL, 38 years old. But you go to a team that needs some more offensive line leadership, and I think he'd fit in very, very nicely in a team like the Cleveland Browns. The Browns went out and got Jack Conklin. They got Joel Bitonio. They need Baker Mayfield to be protected. They need that leadership in the locker room. Kevin Stefanski, they got a whole new front office. So I think Jason Peters would be a nice addition to the Browns, trying to keep Baker Mayfield upright, make him, you know, reduce the amount of mistakes that he's made, and get the offense chugging, make it even better in a very competitive AFC North. And another squad that I think he could land on are the LA Chargers. LA just needs to get better in general across the offensive line. Pouncey seems to be the fixture right there at the center spot, but everywhere else outside of that, you know, a little up for grabs. They went out and traded and got Trey Turner, a former Pro Bowler, solid from Carolina. But you add Jason Peters into the mix, you've at least solidified the left side from the middle of the offensive line. It seems like they're going to go forward with Tyrod Taylor. We're not sure what the Chargers are going to do with their top 10 pick, but you know, Jason Peters would be a nice addition in LA. And then the final free agent of the video is Delanie Walker, the tight end, formerly of the Tennessee Titans and once a 49er. He didn't quite have a huge year last year. I mean, obviously you're getting up there in the age number, and you know, your production typically begins to reduce. Only 21 catches, a little over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns last year in Tennessee, but you know, a mostly run offense, coupled with, you know, maybe just some general, you know, reduction in the passing game. I think Delanie Walker could benefit from a change of scenery at the end of his career. Maybe take this last season to cash in, go somewhere that needs a tight end. A place like New England absolutely needs some tight end help. Matt Lacoste didn't work. Benjamin Watson hit retirement once again, and they just need overall help in the receiving game. Jared Stidham seems like he's going to be the guy for New England. You want to get him some more receiver help, and I think Delanie Walker has enough left in the tank to at least be a solid addition to an offense that needs some help. But the cap number for New England is really, really scary. I don't know if he's going to cash in necessarily in New England, but, you know, it's not impossible. Another spot I could see him landing, the New Orleans Saints. They already got Jared Cook, but they do like to bring in some veteran pass catchers. Delanie Walker fits the bill, and I'm sure that he would want to go to the Saints to go and try to win a championship. There's still plenty of free agents on the market worth talking about. Guys like Joe Flacco, Cameron Wake, Demarius Randall was in the market. I'm going to tell you who he got signed by in just a few days. But thank you again so much for watching the video. If you want to catch the next one, hit the little bell, subscribe, like, comment, share, all the good stuff. And don't worry, I'm going to catch you in the next video. Adios.